So here's a new project, bath vanity build. This is what I'm starting with. I've got 6 2x4s that are about 9.5 feet long. So here are the designs for my vanity sink. So this was the first drawing I made, and then I revised it to be a little bit more refined here. So have our vanity top 36 inches wide, and the depth will be 21, 22, kind of depending on the size of the sink. A towel bar with a recessed back front here, and then the sides over there. And the bottom will be a pull-out drawer step for my grandboys. Okay, so these boards here I've marked at about 38 and a half inches, and ultimate width to be 36, so a little oversized to have a little extra room to work with. So I'll cut those up, and those will make up my top. We'll trim the sides of the 2x4 to make it square, and then we'll join these together. Here's the vanity top that I've made. So I've cut the bevel off all these 2x4s, as you can see here. So they fit flush up against each other. And so now we're going to do a glue up, and then we'll just plane the top of this to get it smooth. We got some rustic holes and stuff in here, and in the middle of this we'll have the sink. So this is our reclaimed wood sink top for our vanity. So we're making a rustic top, so we're going to attempt to smooth this today. Jerry, thank you for this plane. This is a smoothing plane that my friend Jerry sent me. I'm going to learn how to use it today and leveling this top. So let's get started. So I have my table legs glued up. So the 2x4s that have been smooth out on one side, take off the round over. What I'm going to do is cut these to a 2x2. So this is the reference point. So I'm going to cut off this section here, and then come back over here and cut off that section there. That'll leave me a 2x2. There. All right, there we go. So this is the piece we're saving, so we know that we're cutting 2 inches this way. And we'll cut that, and then we'll come back and cut that. So I have my one board in here. This is going to be the backsplash. So I'm going to plane this semi-smooth. Again, we want this to be a rustic look. So we have a little hole in here and a little seam. So we're just going to take off some of the high spots in here. We're not going to take it down to polish, but take it down to smooth to the touch. So with that, here we go. Okay, so this is a rustic vanity top. So I've done my glue up on some boards. This is the shelf at the lower part, and this will be the vanity top. It's nothing but 2x4s. I've cut the round edges off, and I've glued them up. I've done a little planing in here. Want to keep the differences in the boards distinctly different, a little bit rough as you stain it for that rustic look. So here's the sink that my wife wants installed in this vanity. So it's a nice copper sink, and so I have placed it on my vanity top, and I have marked out where the sink's going to go. And so once I figure that out, I'll have to use a jigsaw to cut the circle. Now we're going to trim the ends, so the whole thing will be 36 inches with the side and front trim included. So after rough cutting the top, now I'll come in for the final cut to length for the top on this end and again on the other end. So now I'm cutting the opening for the sink insert for where it will go. It's a matter of drilling a hole and getting your jigsaw in there and cutting it to the right dimension. Now I have all my parts cut, so the next step I'm going to do is a dry fit, where I have all my assembled part positioned where they're going to go. But let me me show you why doing a dry fit is important. I've drawn my leg where it's going to be positioned 2 inches from the edge, so it'll go in here like this. Now, I originally drew this as the spot for that to go, and I realized that no, my look I want is to be on the inside edge to have more of the leg exposed. This look here is what I wanted, so I had to X that out, and that is the proper look. Now on this one over here, I'm having a different item to look at because this sink has this drain hole here. I cannot put it there because it makes contact with that. Now it's okay because I'm actually going to have a 2-inch lip off of the front edge. I can bring this up to 2 inches and do that. So now what I realized, I will probably put a small piece in here for construction purposes to hold my legs into place, and then I'll come in and mount this face plate after I've put the sink in and I know exactly what my clearance is for the drain hole. That's what a dry fit will help you figure out if you have everything lined up. So now we're adding a little bit of taper to the outside portion of the leg. This will be 6 inches up down to, start 6 inches down to 1 inch thick here. I have this board marked up, 1 inch in, 6 inches up. Let's take it over to our straight cut, which I also use as a tapering jig to show you how we do it. And so we're going to mount this on here. The most important part of this is positioning it correctly to make the cut. Let's cut it away. There we go. Nice little bevel. That'll dress it up nicely. So here's the leg that I made. It's got rustic. I left some natural vents in here to make it maintain that rustic look. The taper will be on the outside portion of the leg. So when you looked at it like that, Picasso decided it wasn't bulky or hulky enough and make it fatter. So my solution is to come in, cut a 1 inch piece and just glue it to that side like that and make it hulky bulkier so she's happy. So I have my vanity top here, and this is the backsplash that'll go on the top side, which is down. So we're going to drill some pilot holes so we can affix it to here. Since I got to go through a 2x4 into here, I'm going to use 3-inch deck screws. So I'm going to go ahead and pre-drill these, and then I'll be able to drill it into there and suck it up nice and firm from there. I've installed the front apron and the side apron. I had one minor miscalculation of depth in here, so I had to add a piece in here to make this be solid all the way up to the top. Even though this apron is only attached to the legs, it's not attached to the top. Same thing on the side. So my next step is building the box for the drawer step. And I couldn't quite figure out how the slide should work on the drawer. I was a little concerned by putting normal drawer slides in and having the child stand on it and not slide about. So I decided I'm just going to do a wood on wood slide. So I made me a model, and this is the slide, the drawer slide, and it's going to go on here like this. And I noticed as it came to the end here, and as the drawer dropped down to meet the ground, because it's going to be 1 inch off the ground, these edges tend to go up, which means I needed to put a little slope on here so it doesn't bang up against the top. So I have to figure out between the slope and mounting it below the top shelf how to work. Okay, so this board was going to be the step top, and it is 47.5 inches, and I needed it to be 48. So I need about 15 inches wide, and this is about 11.25. So what I'm going to do is cut one piece at 24 inches right here, and then I'm going to go at an angle, and I'm going to take this into the corner right here, and that's going to get 24 inches at an angle to there, and I'll be a little bit short over here by about 3/4 of an inch, and I'll just glue in a piece on the corner there. So I won't quite get 4 inches, but I can get 3.5. That's acceptable. So we'll do that and do a glue up, and we'll have our one board 24 by 15. So here's my one piece 24 by 11, and this is the piece we cut at an angle. Now I went ahead and cut it to 4 inches, and looky here, we get 24 inches complete out of that corner, and then over here we're only going to be short a smidgen there and a smidgen here. I'll do a glue up on that. We'll come back and recut that, and that'll be perfect. We'll have our 24 by 15 that we're looking for. Okay, now I'm putting on my drawer slides for the drawer that fits in the bottom of the vanity. This is the step drawer. So I've got 2.25 inches that this guide is going to be. So we're going to drill a couple pilot hole screws. All right, so our drawer's finished. It'll slide like this. We'll have a handle. We'll get by a handle on here, and we'll put a little towel bar, a little industrial pipe towel bar on here. We got the sink, and with that, construction is complete. Now all I have to do is stain it to give it a nice rustic look. I got some marine-based waterproof varnish to put on here for the finish for the top, and then we'll install the sink. So we're close to being finished. But if you liked our video on vanity sink construction, be sure and give us a thumbs up. If you want to see more of our videos, be sure and subscribe down below. Come back and see us real soon.